I'm Elliot Kleinberg from the Palm Beach Post. We're talking to Edgar Santiago at his apartment in Palm Springs. Mr. Santiago, in 1992, you walked away basically from a prison term, even though it was in someone's home. And the Connecticut authorities finally caught up with you in May after all those years. Tell me how you got in trouble in the first place back in Connecticut as a young man.
As a young man, I had a troubled upbringing as far as a broken marriage. My father was involved in the streets as well as he held a job, but he was also involved with drinking and drugs and so forth. My mother, on the other hand, was a community worker. She worked at Women in Crisis. I had two vines of being raised. My mother, solid Christian woman. My father, as I stated, and got involved in drugs at an early age. The neighborhood was infested with drugs at that time. There was a lot of gangs, fighting and so forth. It led to drug use, finally. Met my wife, my then girlfriend, actually, we never got married, but in high school. She got pregnant when I was around 19, and she had the baby. When all this was going on, she actually left to Florida with my firstborn. That's why when I got out, after I think I served 18 months, when I got out, I tried to stay in the parole and do the right thing. But where they gave me parole was blocks away from an area where you can actually get drugs. So you have to pass by this area, and considering that you have issues with that before you went in, and my then girlfriend and my first child leaving, and when I got out of prison, no one was here. My mother had left, my family had left Connecticut. I had no family in Connecticut besides my brother's ex-wife who signed out for me. So feeling alone, and my firstborn was my life at that time, I fell into the use again.
And then you went to Florida.
Yeah, I fell into the life, and then I just said, hey, this ain't leading nowhere. I'm either going to end up in a can or dead. So I just left. I left. And my father-in-law was down here who was offering me a job. He said, you get down here, we can get you cleaned up. You can get a job, which I have got to be grateful for him for that. And he taught me the craft of painting and carpentry. And he gave me a, pretty much a job.
And all these years, you just figured they had just let it go because there wasn't that much time left, and then you got pulled over.
I guess my car might have looked suspicious because it's a beat-up little bucket that I work with, and it's a real high-end area. And going back and forth to Home Depot, the third time I was done, I was getting ready to go home, I get into the highway, and the cop pulled me over. He said he ran my license, ran my plate, and that there was an issue with it. Could he get my ID and who I was and so forth? He did. Very nice gentleman, actually. And I came out, we talked for a little bit. He said, I'm going to have to put the cuffs on you because evidently something popped up. In Connecticut. And first he asked me if I lived in Connecticut. I said, yeah. And he goes, well, there's an issue there with your name. And by this time, another officer had came before he asked me to get out the car. So they both were there. Said, we're going to have to cuff you for the time being until we clear this up. Well, we got to talking, and I didn't really hide anything from him. I said, yes, I finally said, yes, that's me. I realized what that is. I thought that was already done with. I've been here for years. So I put it on the back burner, saying, you know what, I'll take care of it. I'm in the house, got home. It was one of those days where I didn't have the second job because I work side jobs and I work at my job. So I had 2 days that I wasn't working, so I'm playing. I have a special needs child, so I'm just watching TV, man, oblivious to this ever happening. I get a knock on the door. It was one of the firm knocks, which already, I was like, no one really knocks like that. So I went to the door, and the officers asked me my name, asked me to step forward. There was 8 or 9 people out there, so I'm like, whoa, this is serious. And then it all hit me. I saw this must be regarding that. He told me, yes, you have a warrant for the state of Connecticut. You're going to be arrested. So we can answer all your questions at the precinct. And that was the last time I saw my family. But I got to add, they did not arrest me or cuff me in front of my children because I begged them. I said, please do not do it. I have a special needs child. He would freak out. So I said, if you do me the favor.
So you did it outside?
So no, not only did he do it outside, he actually walked me further down towards the entrance and then cuffed me there and then walked me to the car.
What was it like when you walked into that prison in Connecticut?
Excuse me. The prison and everything about it wasn't shocking to me. The only thing I had in my mind was that little boy. And I just couldn't get him and my daughter out of my mind, because if you meet my family, you meet any of my sons. I got a 32-year-old and a 30-year-old. I raised all my kids, period. And they were raised with a backbone, strong kids, no welfare, no handouts. They're just strong-minded little individuals, and I'm proud to say they got that from me. So it was embarrassing to me that they were going to find this out. I mean, they've heard gossip, but they never really knew. So my thing wasn't the jail issue. You know, I'm a man. I'm going to survive anywhere. It's just the embarrassment of my kids knowing, and
also
neighbors knowing.
And also you couldn't be there for them.
And not being there for them. My boys they're my pride and joy, first of all, and they were so helpful in this. They were willing to put up their homes to give me a lawyer and all that. So on that part, it's just not being there for my 12-year-old, and most of all, my special needs child, who's used to having me here. So just not being for them was the jail time for me. The jail time, it is what it is. You're going to survive, but not being there for them, to me, that was jail.
And last question, what was it like when the door opened?
I'm getting out, which I got out earlier than expected. I don't know how things were worked out, but someone told me when I got in, they goes, we're going to get you out of here before the holidays. He's like, you do not belong here. So just to know, I was excited that I was getting out before the holidays. I have a whole new appreciation for life, because you get caught up in the bills, and you become an old me. Like my son went through that. We lost a home. My son's fighting cancer. My kids so it's almost like you go to an old why me. That why me is out the door. I'm so happy I'm here. I'm happy I work for a company called Lake and Wetland, who've been with me every step of the way. They're godly sent. They've probably been more than family to me. I actually, as far as I know, I have my job waiting on me. They've actually paid the rent here while I've been gone. You know, we worked it out so I can, pay that back while I'm working. But what they've done for me to this point is it shows that there are good people out here.